Alright guys, here's a video series idea that I had, reviewing your plays, and specifically, what would I do if I was in your shoes with your current play. Now, as always, this video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research before making any investment decisions. With that said, let's jump right into it. Here's a screen grab from a text message that I got from someone who was aggressively buying SoundHound shares. Now, this video is going to be talking about options, and if you're new to options, this is going to get very complicated pretty quickly, and this is not a beginner-friendly video. But for those of you who do know a little bit about options, let's review some of the things that he did good and things that he could have done better. First of all, if this is his entire portfolio, $32,000, he put up about half of his portfolio in collateral making this play on SoundHound. As a general rule, I never recommend doing more than 10% into any one position. Otherwise, it just carries too much risk. With that said, let's see how much premium did he collect off of this play. I already did the math, and how much premium he made was $836. The way that the week ended was $20.62, which means that 3 of these strike prices were in the money and the last one was out of the money. So he now has 600 shares of SoundHound. Hindsight's always 20/20. But what were my call outs in Discord and how would I have played this past week? On Discord, I called out that SoundHound was going to reach down to $19.50. It actually went a little bit below that. It went down to $19. So if I was playing it and I wanted to aggressively acquire this many shares, one of the things he could have done is, instead of selling all of these puts at the same time, what if he sold puts as the price was moving down? If he did that, he could have collected a lot more premium, because remember, the closer the strike price is to the stock price, the more premium you get, right? So if he got $1.52 here, let's just go ahead and assume that maybe he could have got $1.52 at every single strike price. And what would that have looked like? If he collected $1.52 at each of the strike prices with the same number of contracts, he could have gathered almost, that's going to be a little over 40% gain, right? $1,216 just in premium. Now, that's assuming you really know the direction the stock is going to be moving. Maybe he didn't believe that it was actually going to go down, which is okay. You don't have to agree with my plays. But for me, in this past week, I did call out in Discord it was going down. If I was going to acquire shares, this is how I would have played. I would have sold it. Maybe I would have traced it down. Or if I had a whole lot of conviction that it for sure was going to test a bottom level, what he could have done is, instead of selling puts at these higher strike prices, he could have just waited until SoundHound really did go down, and he could have sold, instead of 2 contracts down here, maybe 4 contracts at each of these different strike prices, right? Hopefully that makes sense. If you're newer to options, that's probably going to be a little confusing. Let's consider one more thing. How much money can he actually make? This is now talking more about the wheel strategy, right? So now that he sold puts to acquire shares, he now has to sell calls or sell his shares eventually to make some money. If we assume that he's going to sell the shares that he bought at the highest price, the highest strike price that he sold puts at $22, how much money will he make? He'll make, just off the difference of where he bought the shares and the $22 he will sell his calls at, he'll make $300. There's additional money that's not here that I haven't graphed out or done, but he can, anytime you sell puts or sell calls, remember there's premium. So when he goes to sell calls at $22, he will also collect some premium. Now, does he want to sell calls at $22? I don't know. That's up to him, and he can make that decision. Maybe he's just trying to aggressively acquire shares now, and he's going to sell at a much higher strike price. That will net a lot more gains in the short term. But how would I play it if I was in this position? As I said, the way that I started out, I don't think that having this high of a position size in any one stock is smart. It carries too much risk. So I would look at, right now on Monday, I would sell some calls at $22. I would potentially wait for SoundHound to rally again, and then I would sell higher calls, and I would look at the delta and see what the options are currently worth and what the probability is of selling them at the $23, $24, or maybe even the $25 range for SoundHound. Now, what's my overall thesis for SoundHound? You can check out my Discord channel specifically about what I think about each of these. But my 5 top plays for this coming year: AMD, SoFi, Palantir, SoundHound, NVIDIA. I remain incredibly bullish for all of these companies. I don't think that any of these companies have reached their all-time high for the year. We just started the year, and these companies still have a lot of room to go. Okay, hopefully that made some sense. Again, if you're new to options, I understand that could have been a little bit confusing. Come back and watch this after you learn some about options, and hopefully it does. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments section. Come join us in Discord. It's free. There's no paywall to join Discord. Come in, chat with us. If you found this helpful, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.